Hi guys, Neil again and welcome back to the Energy Academy. In Great Britain, the vast majority of electricity is bought and sold by large generators and large suppliers, and it's done so in the wholesale market. In the wholesale market, suppliers buy the electricity they need from generators to meet their customers' demand. Generally, energy is agreed for delivery at a pre-agreed period at some point in the future at a given price per megawatt hour delivered. Delivery can be agreed years ahead of schedule, right up to the point of delivery. Generators and suppliers are actually pretty good at forecasting what electricity will be needed and when. Therefore, they're able to buy and sell electricity for a specific time in advance and have managed to avoid there being too much of a surplus or deficit. Buyers and sellers can either trade electricity directly via bilateral contracts, sometimes called over-the-counter trading, or on exchanges like those hosted by Nord Pool and EPEX. A lot of over-the-counter trading is for baseload. Baseload spans the course of an entire day with the same amount of electricity procured across the day. Basically, it's the lowest amount of electricity someone will need to service an entire day. It's traded months or years ahead of schedule, and it covers a supplier's forecast of minimum demand across a period. Because these forecasts are never perfect, suppliers then need to fine-tune this or add shape. This means they have to buy electricity on top of their baseload to correspond with more up-to-date dynamic forecasts of demand. Adding shape is the purchase of electricity at a more granular level for shorter periods of time, like 4-hour or even half-hour blocks. This electricity is procured much nearer the time of delivery, often day ahead or sometimes even within the same day. But who runs the wholesale market? Well, in truth, no one organisation really runs it. Once generators or suppliers have been awarded their generation or supply licences by Ofgem, the independent regulator who looks after Great Britain's electricity markets, they're free to buy and sell energy in the wholesale market. To do this, they can either go through auction exchanges like Nord Pool and EPEX, or enter into over-the-counter trading. An example of an over-the-counter or bilateral trade might be generator A entering into a contract with supplier B. Generators and suppliers then have to make their intended volumes known to National Grid ESO. This is so that the ESO has visibility of planned supply and demand levels and can act accordingly to fix any imbalances that might occur. That said, the ESO does not care who the deals were made between or the price that was paid. As mentioned previously, regulatory bodies do exist, Ofgem in our case, to ensure that all participants act within the law and the spirit of the market. Anyway, in the final chapter of this series, I'll run through all the topics we've covered. See you there.